Republicans will latch onto that and say it's a great idea and push for it. Megyn?
Carl, thank you. Joining me now, Donald Trump's campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne, great to see you.
Thank you, Megyn.
Okay, so I have been on vacation, but what happened to Paul Manafort?
Oh, I think Donald Trump thanked him for his service, and I echo that thanks. And then he accepted his resignation.
Oh, what are you going to do differently, if anything, from the prior two campaign managers?
So this actual position has been unfilled for a while, and I think Steve Bannon and I would like to do a few things together. One is just to make sure that all the folks in our states have exactly what they need: the resources, the data operation, the ground game, the structure, and to move forward. And I just had a call with all 50 of them. We had a call probably about an hour ago.
All right, so you're getting the ground machine working, the campaign really in motion.
That's right. And the other thing, and I think that Paul Manafort did a great job. He absolutely did, building the infrastructure. I think for Mr. Trump, it should be a pivot to substance, and that's what you saw last week. Everybody's saying pivot, 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 and usually they mean stylistically. You have to be authentic. You have to be who you are, or voters figure it out right away. We see firsthand with Hillary Clinton what happens when you try to fake who you are, or you try to listen to pollsters tell you how to be and how to shift. So in his case, the pivot is on substance.
Some people said that was the word on Manafort, that he was trying to tell Trump to behave differently than Trump, than Trump is. Trump is Trump. And he was trying to reel him in, and Trump didn't like that.
Well, I think what he does like is winning, and you see these polls tightening, and part of that is really a direct product of last week. I think we had the best week ever on the campaign, and the reason is he gave 4 speeches, all on substance, law enforcement, taking the case to the communities of color, and really challenging Hillary Clinton and the Democrats.
But when you say the polls are tightening, the Carl Cameron's reporting that he is behind in all of the national polls, 6 to 9 points right now, 6 to 9 points.
The Real Clear average ballot tonight is about 5.5, but that's good. I like being the underdog. I think it lights a fire under a campaign to realize you have 77 days or so to get it done, what needs to be done. The other thing we're trying to do is really access and leverage the resources we have. There's a tremendous amount of talent in that campaign. I've gotten to know most and soon all of the folks who are there. These are hardworking, talented professionals who are not household names, who I don't think get enough credit. I'm really glad that I'm in the foxhole with them. And then it's also, I think, to challenge Hillary Clinton on substance. Megyn, the issue set very much benefits us. People don't want Obamacare. We don't even know what she's going to do with it.
Well, before we get through a laundry list of issues, is that why Mr. Trump is he's postponing the immigration speech he was going to give this week, so that, the media, the airtime can breathe a little this week with, let's face it, news that has not been good for Hillary Clinton at all?
No, it hasn't. She's on track to have her worst week ever, and it's only Monday.
So is that the reason? I mean,
no.
Is that a campaign tactic?
No, it's not a campaign tactic. It's for a very simple reason. That's been on the schedule for a while. We inherited it. Immigration is a very complex issue, and to get the solutions right, to come out with your specific plan, should not be rushed. He is taking in the wisdom of many different counselors on this issue, and that included Saturday's meeting, which I attended.
He's got a new Hispanic Advisory Council. But let me ask you this way: forget what he said or didn't say, or the BuzzFeed reporting and the Univision reporting. The question is is he still going to deport the 11 million illegal immigrants in this country?
So this is what he has said. He has said, whether it's his speech last month at the convention, which everybody can pull and read, or what he said in the private meeting that somehow got reported, I think, and distorted by those who weren't in attendance. I was there. It's basically the same, and he said it again today in Ohio. Megyn, what he's saying is, first, secure the borders and actually apply and enforce the law. And that sounds like, oh, enforce the law. Guess what? If we actually enforced our immigration laws, a lot of this would start to really change. Secondly, you have to deport those who have committed crimes. That certainly is nowhere near.
But that's all sort of generic Republican talk. Like many Republicans have said, maybe not that
maybe they don't mean it.
Maybe that's not strict. Well, that's what people are wondering, whether Trump means it too. Because, in the primary season, he came out and said he would favor a deportation force. He was pretty explicit about that. And so now the question is there doubt about that?
I think a deportation force is more the logistics. In other words, how do you achieve the goal of making sure that we are fair to everyone? I think too much of the conversation is always about what's fair to the illegal immigrants. What about what's fair to the American workers?
So they are going to be deported. The 11 million are going to be deported.
He has said, here's what he said about that. He will enforce the law, which will take care of a lot of that. He will deport those who have absolutely committed a crime, been convicted of a crime. He will make sure that American jobs are protected. He will absolutely build that wall.
That provides wiggle room that wasn't there before. Let's just play the deportation force soundbite, because this is what he said during the primary season.
Are you going to have a massive deportation force?
You're going to have a deportation force, and you're going to do it humanely. They're going back where they came. If they came from a certain country, they're going to be brought back to that country. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now, they can come back, but they have to come back legally.
Mr. Trump, you've called for a deportation force to remove the 11 million undocumented immigrants from the United States.
Country or we don't have a country. We have at least 11 million people in this country that came in illegally. They will go out.
So he was pretty, there was no wiggle room. It was, they're going.
Well, he's not wiggling.
Okay, so they're still going. He is deporting them.
He wants to apply the law, and he wants to make sure that we have, I think the most important thing of what he has said and still says, and I'm very happy that you played the entire clip there, is that we need to do it humanely. He keeps saying that. He said it on Saturday.
No, he's definitely said humanely from the beginning.
Humanely, fairly, and effectively.
But there's a question about today, and even today you're not being explicit, which is going to lead to more questions.
When it comes to Donald Trump, everybody always sticks on one word. I mean, I know Hillary Clinton is boring to cover and she lies for a living, but he says to her, deportation force, and most of America thinks she lies, but I'm just one of them, deportation force. He is talking about mechanisms. You know, he's taking a multitude of counselors, but even Senator Jeff Sessions, who is a very close advisor on this issue, has never called for a deportation force.
Right, but Donald Trump did. So that's why it's news.
But look, I think what's happening here is the media are so worried that he had a good week, the mainstream media, who reported on this and distorted it. I was in that meeting. He did not say that. And the people actually in the meeting said
well,
that
I understand. That's why I don't want to get hung up in the meeting. I don't care what happened in the meeting. I only care what the position is.
In terms of did he flip-flop, what does he say in private that's public? This is somebody who I always hear say the same thing in private as public, I assure you.
I got to ask you this final question. You know that you were a Ted Cruz supporter during the primaries, and you came out and said, I don't like the personal insults. I don't like somebody who hurls personal insults. And then you came out and said, Donald Trump doesn't do that. Now, you know that's not true.
Well, what I was saying in the context of he doesn't do it without being attacked first. I mean, people forget that this man is attacked.
But does that excuse it?
Well,
I mean, just today he called Mika Brzezinski neurotic, which is another term for basically mentally ill.
And look, I don't like the
He's called other female news personalities things like crazy.
I don't like the personal
The man does hurl personal insults,
Kellyanne. But not unprompted, meaning I don't like personal insults. Let me make very clear. I don't like them only because I'm a mother of 4 young children. I'd be a hypocrite if I liked them. And I actually think he can win on the issues, on the substance. Our best game against Hillary Clinton is to take her on foursquare about her record.
But how is that working so far? Because that stuff about Mika was today.
So he felt like he was being attacked, and we have interns monitoring the programs, and he felt like he was told it was like a 3-hour screen.
With all due respect to my friends over on MSNBC, that show has like 2 viewers. Why does he let himself get worked up over what? So she doesn't like him. Too bad. Who cares?
Look, I'll tell you this, Megyn. If it's up to me, he's in a tennis match with Hillary Clinton. He's lobbying and shooting aces at her all day long. We don't pick a fight with the ref. We don't boo the crowd because we're absolutely back in Hillary Clinton's head. He's occupying seriously real estate in her head because you see the way they're reacting. They're trying to make this campaign about Donald Trump, and a lot of their friends in the media are trying to make this campaign about Donald Trump. But I appreciate anyone who's willing to remind us that there are actually 2 candidates in the race, and we should be covering both of them.
And she is up next. So Donald Trump has moved on from the Upper West Side, from the parade of buildings on the Upper West Side of Manhattan to renting space in Hillary's head.
Yes, I like it.
We will talk about that tomorrow. Kellyanne, what a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Big fan of yours. Thank you for being here.